There we go, the second game. This is right now gonna be played on hybrid, so basically on vanilla, which means that Mor is not gonna be able to play his favorite Atlantean, so you'll have to play something else. And ISIS, that's a pretty good choice. That's a very good choice indeed. ISIS is arguably the strongest on vanilla, or at least on the top tier, with mainly Thor and Zeus/Poseidon, but ISIS is really up there and probably could be considered the very best, though the other gods are not really all that far away. And Joe, of course, gonna be continuing with his ISIS, and we're gonna be playing on Savannah. So let's see how we're gonna be, or rather, what we're gonna be seeing here. As I'm definitely curious about Mor's Egyptian. He does know how to play, of course, other civilizations than Atlanteans, but on the very top level in a tournament, that's probably gonna be a bit different, especially on vanilla when he doesn't have the auto queue. Or the vanilla rules. You could be having the auto queue, but it's not allowed because you are on Titans and you just cannot disallow auto queue. You can just kind of remove it from the UI. You can still use it if you know how. Okay, there we go. That's plenty of actually hunt for him. So that's very good spawn right about now for Joe. With all of those rhinos, gonna be curious if Mor is having the same. As otherwise the gold is, well, it's not that bad. There's gonna be tree line around it, so that's at least a bit of a protection. The tower is quite far away, so I kind of think it might be assailable. But yet again, this is an ISIS mirror on vanilla, so that's gonna be just both going for faster heroic at about 7:15, 7:30, and that's gonna be it. So kinda prepare for the first 7 minutes to be all about looking around the map and seeing some topics, what to talk about, pretty much. Okay, you can see it's gonna be the same for the rhinos. This is actually very fun spawn. And very high hunt spawn for the player, so it should be really resulting into 7:15 advances into heroic age. We are of course on the hybrid, so we cannot really take second settlement in the next age, into classical age. Wait all the way into the heroic. As well, Joe is scouting all around the opponent, trying to even steal a few goats. And let's throw the Fog of War, so that we see the glory that is this map. Right then. Okay, so we are gonna be seeing both players having kind of one defensive TC. This is definitely more defensive than what Mor is having. This is Joe having a TC at the very back, which is gonna be completely safe with more hunt all around about it. As of course, Mor's is gonna be a bit more to the top, but at the same time, it does have at least a gold right next to it, or closer to it, not really right next to it. This is kind of farther away. You will need the Migdol to defend it properly, but still, it's not such a bad position considering the fact that both are gonna be faster heroic in. So the option is gonna be there to come for it. Whereas the one on the left side, that is kind of frontish. That is kind of frontish. And it's gonna be a bit more difficult for him to potentially capture. But of course, if he does, then 1, 2, 3 gold mines around it on the perimeter. Not really close to it. But of course, if you do have some kind of base of operations in the middle of all of them, you can kind of guess what that's gonna be leading into. Difficulties for your opponent to actually get you out of that position. So in the end, this is actually quite solid for Mor, but he will have to play properly, try to get the TCs as much as he can, and also, of course, not advance way too late as opposed to his opponent. Anyway, right now, plenty of baboons on the left. Like, this is a really high hunt Savannah. You can see the amount of animals everywhere. It's kind of funny. But anyway, Mor is going for the giraffes in the middle of the map. The opponent is having them where? There. Okay. It's kind of further away, but it's kind of further away for both players the same. Though in a bit different way. You can see that Joe is gonna be coming a bit more to the side. Mor has to go a bit more into the middle, like into the front. But luckily for him, it's not really gonna matter at all. Because here again, we're on Manila, both gonna be faster heroic, so all the time in the world. And you're not even gonna be abused by some kind of classical age myth unit. So absolutely safe for both players. It doesn't really matter. It's just a bit of extra walking time, which might result in slower advance for Mor. But let's see how much of a difference it's gonna be making. As Joe is gonna be, of course, up to be making some mistakes as well. He's still continuing with the rhinos, as is his opponent. But otherwise, well, is he having some secondary hunt already? Or is it a different build order? 10, 7, 8, and 12 about there. On one builder, 3 on gold. None on gold. And building temple. So yeah, Mor apparently already switched the villages on the hunt here. Yeah, you can see he already sent a whole lot more in there. So that's gonna be exactly the difference that we're seeing. So yeah, the build order is gonna be slightly different to on wood as well. Otherwise, it seems to be fairly similar. So, plenty of food left, and you can see that Joe is gonna be heading into the giraffes pretty soon as well, I'm expecting, once he finishes with what? Well, probably with the rhinos, because right now he needs to advance as soon as possible, so that he still does have some solid time, and you can see right now 290, so we're heading into the time where he will want to advance into the next age, as this next batch should be exactly enough. You can see 12 villages right now with the having 10, he can already deposit, he could have deposited a bit earlier, as Flood of the Nile for extra free food is gonna be coming forward for him, and Bust as well. So that's Bust for him. Pickaxe being researched as well. More is gonna be coming through Bust also. At pretty much the same time, and it seems like, as he is still continuing right now with the laborers, already preparing another granary for all the chickens so that he doesn't have to walk all that far away. And this is gonna be maybe a bit tricky for Joe. Because of course More is gonna be using all of those giraffes, or maybe most of the giraffes, before he advances into the heroic age. Those giraffes for Joe might be actually a bit late once he finishes with the rhinos, so I'm kinda right now questioning if he even is gonna be attempting them. Because if everything goes according to plan, that might be already a bit too late, and he might be already quite heavily raided in there. So I'm thinking he might be even falling back with plenty of villages there into the gold, into prosperity. Maybe a few are gonna be coming into the chickens, maybe a few into the goats as well. As he got husbandry, as you can see, just now getting the eggs on top of the backs of the animals here. So here we go. You can see a bit of abuse by the pharaoh, and oh well, I can kind of understand that, because you can see he doesn't have any kind of pharaoh nearby or anywhere. So of course at this point you can see that the pharaoh Sahure is having quite a solid attack, and with the help from his priest it's gonna be quite dangerous. And oh, somebody forgot a villager there, or did he forget him? Maybe that was, no, yeah, he did forget him. I was for a moment thinking that maybe it's just basically like leaving him behind so that he gets killed and allows the rest to escape. Well, that wasn't really intention, and it worked anyway that way. So it's not really all that bad. And Sahure does have a relic, but I don't really know what it is yet. I need to switch into Joe for that, right? Yes, I do. And it's gonna be better hero damage versus myth units. Well, I don't think that's gonna be really all that important here. Maybe it will still. We have seen in vanilla games the Petsuchai from Shadowfax, so kinda why not? Will still be seen. As right now Joe is exactly as we expected, arriving here for the giraffes, and I'm really thinking this might be kinda tricky for him, because he might be pushed off it with the raiding. That's gonna be coming quite inevitably, as the heroic ages are gonna be coming forward. You can see right now he needs plenty more food before he's gonna be able to advance, and he's having, oh yeah, he already clicked. I was just slightly confused why he would be having so low amount of food. As More is advancing a whole lot faster, you can see he's gonna be advancing at exactly those 7:15. That is the time that we are aiming for when you are ISIS on a high hunt map, and he's gonna be basically forcing his opponent off this position quite soon. As you can see, the priests are already getting prepared, and I wouldn't be surprised by a Migdal Bath here. You can see he's already moving with all the squad. So is he like gonna be attempting to drop a Migdal right into his face? Well, that's a bit too cheeky, I think. That's a bit too cheeky. Yeah, he shouldn't have actually given himself up in there. Joe, come on, go in there. Yeah, definitely abuse him as much as you can. Slowing down right now, Ancestors coming forward for more. And that is actually quite effective right now for Joe, because that's gonna be meeting, well, yeah, this was kinda inevitable. I think that he actually figured it out as well. But much more importantly, he does have enough priests, so he can kinda kill them. And much more importantly, those were defensive ancestors. And even though this is gonna be gaining quite a lot of ground to More, well, is it gonna be worth it? That's gonna be the question here. But anyway, those ancestors are gonna be completely slaughtered right now. Well, not really completely. Still has to pay a bit of attention in there, as the tower is gonna be helpful. But yeah, well, More is not gonna be having all that much of an extra bonus for him, as of course Joe has advanced as well, but he is gonna be forced into defensive Migdal, which is not really that great. So already More is taking the advantage in there, and exactly as we expected, this might be a problem for Joe. This is a kind of nice reaction by More. Would be maybe expecting he could be a bit more conservative with trying to block the TC and maybe Migdal here if he wanted to be aggressive or something like that, but this kind of works as well. He is gonna be established quite alright here, with siegeverse coming forward also. And well, at the bottom, of course, the ancestors are gone. So you're gonna be waiting for the enemy ancestors with some solid attack. force behind them. As right now, Mor is gonna be trying to deny the second DC. Maybe if he is gonna be attempt or rather successful with that, we're just gonna see. Well, Mor is having pretty good line of sight. I wanted to look at that a bit before. I've seen a lot of Oracle or the obelisks all across the map. You can see he's having quite a solid line of sight. Could be using one more extra, for example, about here, I'm thinking. Wouldn't be really that bad. Oh well, that's Pygmalion statue. That's a good relic to have. With 40% more hit points for all the villages, as he's just scouting all around, trying to see what maybe his opponent might be up to. But otherwise, Joe doesn't have such a good vision as his opponent. He just sees the TCs, which is also important for him. But otherwise, he definitely could have scouted a bit more into the darkness on the left. Because you kind of never know if there's some kind of extra gold for you waiting. He's just gonna be happy with the one that is right behind his base. And that's basically also why he figured that he can go for a safe mid goal, or rather mid goal. And he just probably didn't mind all that much as he was forced on by the ancestors. He does have quite a good access to secondary gold mine. Even though he's gonna be relinquishing a bit of map control to his opponent, it shouldn't be all that major problem. But, well, judgment on that is still gonna be coming, obviously. As of course, Mor is growing in strength in the middle with all the priests, but he should be supplying a lot more priests. Right now, at least, he's gonna be having Hands of the Pharaoh or other funeral rites. For, of course, the better attack against all those ancestors that are inevitably gonna be coming forward. He should be producing a whole lot more of them though. Yeah, 3 is not, or rather 4. Well, that's kinda good. With the Pharaoh being there as well, but I would be liking a bit more. But he's having problems with gold. You can see he's gonna be running out in no time as well, so he's gonna have to switch here. And that's gonna be making things quite tricky, which is why I would be preferring him to switch maybe to the left side and maybe even into the back side, because you can see he's having a completely safe goal behind his base. I somehow haven't noticed that before, but that is actually pretty huge. That is pretty huge for any Egyptian, and as this is a back goal as well for Joe, of course, even behind the DC in there, but it's not as completely safe as this one for Mor. So yeah, but let's see about that. So of course the army is coming forward, combination of elephants with chariots, without any extra upgrade so far. That's gonna be of course the same for the opponent, who is still having only chariots though. But he's coming for the back DC in there. He's gonna be getting some economical advantage, and it's gonna be good stronghold. A very good stronghold indeed. And of course gonna be allowing him potentially to get a bit more population limit. But at this point that's not really exactly what he needs to worry about all that much. And of course right now without ancestors for Mor, it's gonna be hard to push through. But three siege towers at this stage, that is something that doesn't happen that often. And it's actually quite a solid attacking force, but with the ancestors right now being cast right behind, nicely singling out all the priests. Yeah, well, that's exactly gonna be the downfall of this little adventure and campaign. And of course, even though the front DC is attempted by Mor, there's absolutely no chance. There's absolutely no chance, like why? At this point, there's no reason and no way this is gonna be coming for you. Just basically escape. If you don't want to lose everything in there, which is obviously gonna happen, as he was quite nicely hiding all the priests inside, of course, the siege towers, but unfortunately, he deposited half of them in the middle of the army. So it's gonna be one down with of course, one Pharaoh attacking apparently the siege tower. Or no, he cannot be attacking his own units, obviously. So he was correctly attacking something in there, but it wasn't a star, it was just a stone, so probably just some normal unit. But anyway, this was an attempt actually failed at the very beginning, so I'm not entirely certain what this was supposed to be. As of course the game is still quite nicely going so far, I think for Mor. The question is, where is he with gold at the very back in there, and the economy is Sendax and Pickaxe for the opponent. He's already having shaft mine, so yeah, his economy is gonna be getting better. But yeah, this was kind of weird decision by Mor. As of course right now he's gonna be paying for that, as the ancestors are dead, and he does have the mid-roll, and his opponent doesn't have any kind of siege towers, and only one elephant, so that's not much of a reason why. Okay. I was going to say why Joe should be pushing him off this position, but right now I can switch it. Why Mor should be resigning? There's no reason for a resign here. I mean, like, I can see the game going downhill from here because of the second TC for Joe, and Mor kinda ignoring that opportunity for him. He did have that as well, but he didn't lose this battle really yet. You can see that Joe is even right now escaping because he knows he cannot do anything about it. He's having literally only one elite that is basically dead. He doesn't have any siege towers. He doesn't have even siege works yet. These are gonna be the first ones of his. Well, this was really strange, the push forward, but still it wasn't game lost. So it's a bit of a shame. I think that could have been more game. But he decided that no. And Joe, in the end, is gonna be then leading 2-0. So, good job on that. Let's check into post-game then. He's gonna be more having better economy in the end. Well, let's see. Let's see. It seemed like the Joe was actually having more upgrades slightly. So otherwise, everything going quite well, especially the military for Joe, but it was because of the different use of the ancestors, I'm guessing. Otherwise, the economy for more really significantly better. Really a lot better, I can see this. That's 1000, that's 1500 more resources this early in the game. That's a lot in a mirror. There really wasn't a reason to actually call it a game yet. I think that Morris still could have built a TC, he didn't have the gold. I think it still would be in time. Same military count, 36 both of them. But unit skill 31 for Joe, whereas only 21 for More. Yeah, well. 17 advanced though, that's a nice one. That's a very nice fast heroic. But with this very high hunt map, that is kinda to be expected. I can see a Joe losing plenty of villages in that. These were the hunters. These were the hunters on the giraffes. He lost quite plenty of them. And from that point forward, he was behind More. That was a very good, of course, raiding by More. So kind of shame that he wasn't able to continue with that a bit more. Okay. Oh well, the militaries are interesting as well, but that's because of the ancestors. This is a spike of one ancestors and second ancestors and the downfall of More pretty much. Okay, GG.